Atlantia vivere, Atlantia vincere, Atlantia victor, Atlantia vivere, Agartha vivere, Shambhala vivere, Lemuria vivere, Urantia vivere, Akasha vivere, Lir, Mur, Sulka vivere, the insect civilization, the cat civilization, the horses civilization vivere. My dear friends, this film is made both for Sword of the Stars 2, a failed project of mine, another failed project of mine, and AMD, my dear soul company, my biggest company. My soul company is Vultu. Anyway, I wish to speak to you today about what bad leadership means. I had a project, or maybe there was a project to create a very ambitious space game which took 3 years to develop, from 2008 to 2011, called Sword of the Stars 2, based on the legendary Sword of the Stars 1. And in this game we have star systems, we have fleets which return to their home system after surveying or doing battle, we have admirals, we have planets, we have orbitals in orbit of the planets, we have moons, we have different environments, we have different populations and different races and different species. So the game is theoretically very good. We have Swedish ships. Each ship has a number of mount points, and in each mount points you can put a camel or something or another unspecified module. In fact, the module is specified, but there is no help screen to detail what the hell that part does mean and does do. And the game was shipped half-baked. The leader of the project was a woman. And they made the mistake of sending to the Steam the alpha version of the game, or a beta version, which did not contain scenarios and all the other things. And Steam, in their great stupidity and negligence, published the alpha version of the game. And there was all over criticism that the colors are all off wrong, that there is no help screen, that there are no scenarios, that the game is half-baked, and so on. Which were all true, in fact. So after that, all the development team wanted, like good men, to start over their great work and make the game better. Not to debug, which is a female thing, because women in Agartha, because Agartha is led by women, they implement a feature and then debug it, and then implement another feature and debug it, which is a very boring way, at least for men, of doing things. Men like to do things like this. First we make everything which needs to be done, and after that we fix all our errors. Most of them. Yes. Anyway, because some must be left, because we need to prove that we have not reached the unmanifested supreme God yet. So there was a woman as the lead project. She decided that the deadline is over and she needs to send the alpha or beta version of the game. And after that she decided not to allow the dev team to implement the scenarios and all the other shit and all the other things, but to purge all the bugs. And they did that, but unfortunately now 5 years later they still don't have scenarios, and the galaxies are not explained, and there are no help screens on some things, and so on and so forth. Yes. So the game was a failure. Probably you can find it with $2.99 on Orky Shop. Yeah. And I told them, when I will be paid by Romania for my 7,000 day work, I shall give them $5 million. In the meantime, I have found that you have given me $40 million, but they have all ended up to the beautiful Rus Nicolae, who usurped my crown as Tsar of Ardel, and he said, oh, I will give you $30 million at 40 years old, and I will keep $10 million for myself. He's a thief. He wants to punish me for the crimes of my father, but in fact he only wants to steal. He went to the doctor when I didn't have the right to go to the doctor, because we have a medieval system in place here. Anyway, doesn't matter. Please recover those money. And I wish now to speak about AMD, about what do we do right and what we do wrong. I have seen on the internet, on YouTube, a very nice video. A nice guy, 20 years old, assembling a computer in virtual reality to be used for virtual reality, an AMD, of course, computer. Of course, my host. An AMD computer. And there are no cables in virtual reality. He simply picked the case and he put the motherboard inside, and then the processor and the memory and so on. And the video card, and then he closed the thing. And he said, well, in 5 minutes I have made a computer for virtual reality inside virtual reality. And it was true. He had a big helmet. By the way, we really need to make those helmets small, because you look like an alien with them. Maybe for dragons it is good, because dragons have 7 horns, but for humans it can be a little bit cumbersome. Anyway, I am a Dovak here, so I don't really know how humans think, but I imagine. We have in Cluj 2 restaurants, the Crying Monkey and the Yelling Monkey. Usually dragons eat at the Crying Monkey and the Yelling Monkey, and we also have the Mad Horse and the Wild Horse, and usually humans eat and also the Wild Horse. These are characterizations. Dragons are usually mad, and humans are usually crying and yelling. So we have a long tradition, a bad tradition, the AMD, of missing opportunities. We have sold all our mobile, and I am at fault a part of this, all our Averno, I don't know, graphical chips to Qualcomm, yes. And now Qualcomm has made more money from our GPUs, our mobile GPUs, our nano processors, which are big as this, than we have ever made from selling our big GPUs. And I believe it will be a great mistake again to skip 10 nanometers and put on 7 nanometers instead of making 128 cores and 256 threads, to make only 4896, because Intel will beat us hard and we will again lose market share and we will again be the underdog. And although we have launched Fury X, which has 8192 processors, shaders, and Nvidia only had or has 3000 or 4000 shaders now, they still beat us, and they still can sell at a Titan X with $5,000 or $10,000, and we sell our cards with $1,000 each, because our graphical cards are badly optimized for games. And we have to work more with the developers, but also with ourselves, because we have a long tradition of releasing half-baked products on the market, and this is the biggest problem at AMD. We release products which are 80% complete and 90% ready. And I have seen, and the second problem is we have announced again a new processor back in June. Where is it? Nowhere. Yes. Okay. We have, so on one hand we have to announce the processor when we are ready to release it, and on the other hand we have to work a little bit more to polish things a little bit, because people say, well, I will give $3,000 for 5,000 or 10,000 or $20,000 for the new Mac Pro or Mac Air or iMac, because Apple did a great thing at polishing the user interface, and the user interface only costs $30 because the entire Unix core is free. But we also have 90% ready products in the Linux world. I have a beautiful Artist X, which is free, and yes, we have Blender, which is better than Maya. I have 200 tools, 3 tools for cameras, unfortunately, and all the videos made in Linux, when I have sound on them, are 50 times smaller in size. Therefore, I can upload hundreds of hours on YouTube, because YouTube has a limit for free accounts of 2 gigabytes, and I have a free account. Therefore, it is much better for me to make in Artist X my movies, and also about a quarter of the games on still are working. We have LibreOffice, OpenOffice, which are pretty good, and games and software, and I can update everything with a simple apt-get or yum, upgrade or update. But unfortunately, all the programs stop working, or they work in unexpected ways, because the libraries modify themselves, they update the libraries, and we only have one set of libraries in Linux, and so the whole set of programs start to work in a weird way. Sometimes the camera no longer works and you can only hear the sound. Sometimes the camera works but you can no longer hear the sound. Sometimes you process a video but the video does no longer appear, or maybe the sound does no longer appear, and so on. So we have to be more serious. I know that in Romania we have a long tradition of making things halfway and quarter way. For instance, $300 million for the new lasers at Măgurele, and they realize, although the great river Danube passes nearby, that they don't have water to cool down the laser. Yes. In the e-Romania project, my virtual democracy project started with Elena Udrea back in 2003, 2004, or in 1999. Finally, they have bought a lot of Oracle servers, and after that, nothing. Because they said only a few thousand people can enter per hour, when in fact a few thousand people can enter per second. And if you want more, you have to replace the HDDs with SSDs. And so we can also get engaged in virtual democracy. We can use the virtual world to create, not necessarily on my project, virtual democracy and Atlantia Online and Democrația Virtuală.com and others. We can spread virtual democracy, and not only virtual democracy, also virtual dictatorship if you wish. We can spread a virtual world to the whole world. We can make a site, a 3D site, not necessarily a game, a 3D site where everyone can enter. And yes, of course, these people will need to buy our $400 helmets, which cost us $25 or $50 to produce, which will make a lot of money for us. And also they will buy computers and processors and graphics cards from us, and so on and so forth. So I encourage you to be better. Goodbye.